we go.
Hello, and welcome to Tabletop Terrain Talks, where we talk about tabletop gaming, terrain, and other nerdy things. And Weston apparently starts random mini games with our dragons and has no idea how to play.
I'm supposed to enter the angle and the power.
I
have no idea how this thing works.
Why did you start this little game?
I figured, why not?
I think it has something to do with the star.
Possible. Yes, you probably have to shoot that up in there. But hello, we are your resident nerdy couple. Did I distract you way too badly by having that?
You really distracted me by having that up there.
Well, I'm glad I could be of service to you.
Anyway, welcome to our show tonight. We've got a bunch of things lined up to talk about, including, of course, Wizards of the Coast and their stew happiness, and other things like Paizo and things.
Mm-hmm.
That made a lot of sense. Anyway, first off, though, we have a couple of announcements. If you are a longtime viewer of our show, you may notice we are live at a different period of time.
Yes, we are.
We are live at 8 o'clock p.m. instead of 8:30. It's a new time that we are trying out, and we're going to be going live at 8 o'clock on Mondays and Fridays. So for our actual play and for our... What are you doing?
Trying to get in the hoop.
I'm so confused.
It shoots me over there.
Okay, so you get
and then I shoot off in the angle with the power level that I indicated.
Oh.
So you shoot, jump over there, and then
no.
Close.
Nope, not quite. Anyway, so while we're all very highly distracted by Weston playing this little basketball game with his dragon. Oh, that was so close. Oh man. So we're going to be on a new time on Mondays and Fridays for Tabletop Terrain Talks and our actual play, the Scions, which is really exciting. And in that same vein, we have a really cool announcement. We have been invited to join the Rolling Together stream team.
Yes, we have.
And it is a huge honor for us to be a part of this, a part of this group. They include some really incredible streamers like Carney's Sideshow, Roll Together, Playnerd Allies, Souls Rolls, and a few other really incredible streamers in the streaming community. So we're excited to be a part of that, and that's going to come along with some really fun things
and
stuff. But it's really cool. It's a cool opportunity.
We're excited to be a part of this group. We've played with a lot of these people.
We really have.
We've been in games GM'd by these people, and we are excited to be a part of their group.
Yep, it's very exciting.
We get to be at the cool kids table, honey.
We do.
I never got to be at the cool kids table.
I never was a cool kid. Well, no, that's not true.
You were a cool kid.
I was a cool kid because my high school was weird, and the cool kids were the choir people, and I was a singer, so I got to be a cool kid.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is weird.
That is weird. Choir kids aren't cool kids.
I'm highly distracted by your little basketball game.
I know, because I was a jock and a wrestler and then became a choir kid. And I can tell you, choir kids aren't cool.
In most schools, no. In my high school, they totally were. Yeah. I don't... Oh, you got it! You got it! Good job.
So I'm like filling up our chat.
I know.
All with my little basketball game.
Right now?
I got 50 seconds left.
All right, so for those of you who are watching this back on VOD on our YouTube channel, you can always catch us live on Twitch at 8 o'clock p.m. Monday and Friday. You can join in the chat, and we will be doing giveaways in the future. So to be a part of that, you have to come be in the chat and hang out
and play basketball.
And play basketball with your little dragons. Cool.
That's why people really will come here, is to play basketball
with their little dragons.
Oh!
Okay, this is the problem. I get really involved with these things, you guys. This is why we
have 17 seconds left, and then you can focus.
The monitor is that direction.
Well, the funny thing is that because I was the only one that hit join, we could have a bunch of other people on here, and I wouldn't see them at all. So we'll get a nice reveal in a minute.
I know. We'll see if anybody else is on.
But yeah, so new times, 8 o'clock, rolling together.
Mm-hmm. Blue victory.
Yeah.
MVP.
I won against nobody.
You won against yourself. Good job. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of it for our announcements. Weston, did you have anything you wanted to discuss?
Nope. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day.
So if you're not here because you're, showing someone some loving, then power to you.
They won't know because they're not here.
They'll watch on the VOD.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
That is the story, and I will stick to it. So,
all right, cool.
We will then jump into, I guess, tonight's
TTRPG news.
All right.
Welcome back.
This is TTRPG news. Monday, February 14th.
Oh my gosh, you guys were getting so good. The date was
Right.
changed.
Yes, I was.
Holy
I'm very proud of
cow.
myself for that one.
This is awesome. So first up, happy Valentine's Day. We hope that you have spent your day wonderfully, that you got to play some games, possibly some love games. One that we really enjoy and have enjoyed in the past is Fog of Love.
Fun game.
It's a really, really fun relationships role-playing game. If you haven't seen it before, check it out. It's a really, really great game. But first, in our news rundown for the week, Wizards of the Coast announced and released their revenue statements for 2021 and announced that they broke $1.3 billion with a B in revenue for the year 2021. That is a huge increase from previous years, even in 2020. So we can safe to say that TTRPGs are in a massive renaissance right now.
Well, it's funny because Hasbro, the parent company, only reported $2 billion. So
half of Hasbro's revenue was from
Wizards of the Coast. One thing that I read actually is that is the first time that a Hasbro subsidiary has broken $1 billion.
Wow.
Ever. So it is a big thing for them. It is a definite proof that the market is growing, that the interest in Wizards of the Coast and D&D and all that is exploding, which we have definitely seen, which is going to mean more money, more things, more fun for us.
Hopefully it's going to be more cool content for us to get to play within the world of D&D. But do remember that Wizards of the Coast owns Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, and an entire book franchise as well. So they're not just getting their money from Dungeons and Dragons. There are multiple streams of income.
Well, and there's going to be video
Wizards of the
games.
Coast.
We're probably going to get a lot more video games with who they brought in.
Yeah, with this changeover of the executive staff.
But
yeah.
all this points to a very strong year for Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, which is awesome. Next up... Am I taking that one?
I'll take this one.
You take that one.
We have that. So there's been a big push for fans of Critical Role to help make The Legend of Vox Machina a success commercially, and I think they can say they have achieved that.
It has 100% rating.
Yep, on Rotten Tomatoes,
which is crazy.
It's got 100% critic and 93% viewer, which is... I mean, you don't have many shows these days where the critics and the viewers agree.
Yeah.
And I imagine the 7% who didn't say they liked it, mainly it's because they're Critical Role show fans who were sad that certain things were left out, like certain scenes and certain, kisses and things like that.
We'll talk about that later.
But that is awesome. And they managed to come in third right now. They are behind Reacher and one other romantic comedy that I cannot remember for the life of me what its name was.
Which makes sense, though, because it's Valentine's Day weekend. So right now, with them being behind a romantic comedy makes total sense. Yeah. So that's yay for Critical Role. That's exciting. And it brings a lot of new eyes to Dungeons and Dragons, which is really great.
Well, and it can guarantees you those multiple seasons. I know they've already greenlit the second season.
Yep, they've signed for season 2, which is good because this first season is only the Briarwood arc. So we want to see more things happen later on, like Vecna and whatnot. So
I want me some Vecna.
Moving on from Vecna and Critical Role, Paizo officially today announced that they are re-releasing an old book called The Crown of the Cobalt King. It's an adventure book, and it's an anniversary edition, converting it to 2.0 from 1.0 editions. It's going to be in a special edition format with the leather bound or leather binding and the gold filigree, and a normal with their just regular artwork in a hardback cover as well. That is being released in August. So that's not for a hot second, but you can start doing pre-orders and whatnot. But along with that announcement of Crown of the Cobalt King being re-released is a much bigger deal, I feel like, for those who are fans of Pathfinder. They have announced that previous out-of-print Pathfinder 1.0 books are going to be available on DriveThruRPG. So you can get all of the out-of-print adventures and all of the lore books and all of the things that they haven't printed in a really long time. Like the core rule book you can get. And they don't print those really anymore, I don't think.
No, they do. You can still buy the core rule books.
Can you?
But there's a lot of lore books that were printed for first edition you can't get.
You can't get now. But those are all going to be available on DriveThruRPG as PDFs to purchase and download.
Yep.
Which is pretty dang cool. All right.
And our last piece of news tonight, which actually is the beginner for the discussion that we'll be jumping into, is regarding the experience and what's happened with Wizards of the Coast, specifically in regards to Magic the Gathering and NFTs. So there was an unofficial NFT Magic the Gathering project. A bunch of guys who were apparently planning on, hey, we're going to make NFTs of Magic the Gathering cards, and we're not going to get permission from Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Like, what?
I don't understand how they thought that was going to fly regardless, but
I don't either, but apparently they did. So they created this project. They were working to create NFTs, and Wizards of the Coast found out about it, and just last week came in and were like, no, you can't make NFTs of our games. Now, from what I understand, it was not aggressive. It was, please, do not continue with this project.
Yeah.
We own this stuff. It's ours. And also indicated in that message that they were looking at NFTs of their own.
Yeah.
Which launched a storm of... They posted the unofficial Magic the Gathering NFT project, posted it on Twitter with showing the response, and there's blew things up.
Yeah, it got really intense, and I'm really surprised the way that it has kind of divided the TTRPG community, at least on Twitter, where there are people who are like super for it and people who are like super against it.
So this has definitely been a big piece of news, the plan of NFTs in Magic the Gathering in the future, and the end of that unofficial project that a lot of people were looking at.
Yeah, so that is all for this week's TTRPG news on a wonderful Monday Valentine's.
Thank you very much. And now back to discussion. All right. Oh, hello.
Who was it? You didn't have the thing up.
I couldn't see it. I didn't see it.
Hold on, I'm going to our stream manager, so I'll be able to see who it was.
Oh, Mech45.
A geek of one's own.
Oh.
Thank you. Maybe. No, I lied. Mech45.
Mech45.
I was looking at the wrong side.
Welcome, Mech45, to the stream. If you'll notice, you got your little dragon there. We can see when you talk to us. You can also give it commands, and you can change the avatar. There are a couple of dragons and dinosaurs that are available.
There we go.
Or if you, for just 100 bits, you can also buy Legend of Zelda characters and Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's just...
And Final Fantasy.
It's just if you want to.
It's a lot of fun.
But they're super
John
cute.
Doom!
John!
We have not seen you recently, John.
So this week on... Wait, first we have to do... Sorry, I'm forgetting our sponsors, you guys. I have been sick since January 6th. And
Stop making excuses.
I feel like I am getting sick again, and my tonsils are all swollen. So my brain is like just... Ugh.
No. First, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, the sponsor of our show, GameGearMaster.com with the Terreno modular system.
Have you ever worn a terrain at your table or for your online games but found it either too expensive to buy or too intimidating or time-consuming to make? Well, you're not alone. This is why thousands of gamers in over 30 countries have embraced the Terreno modular terrain system. All you'll need is a handful of techniques and tools to make Terreno pieces. And most of those terrain pieces are less than 10 cents a piece. What makes this all possible? The Terreno construction manuals at GameGearMaster.com. They're included tools and templates printable on any home, office, or retail store printer. They're clear, concise, written instructions, and the accompanying tutorial videos take out the guesswork and make building pieces as fast and easy as tracing, cutting, and gluing. Get started in seconds by downloading the Terreno construction manuals at GameGearMaster.com. Happy crafting!
All right, so again, GameGearMaster.com, amazing Terreno system that we use for all of our terrain. If you go watch our episodes from last Friday and the Friday before, you see some really awesome terrain that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, it's so much fun to get to work with this stuff. And if you follow me on Twitter or follow our official Party of Two Twitter, I post terrain video or photos all the time. So yeah,
you can get a discount on their manuals by using the code Party of 2 RPG, or also you can join their Patreon, and you can get updated. They're releasing adventures, so like an adventure module for your GM, but it also has in it the templates for how to make the terrain and everything in one book. We love them.
It is fantastic, and Jake, the owner, is a good friend of ours. So,
babe, do you want to drop in the chat the?
Yes. What am I dropping in the chat?
The Terreno.
Oh, okay.
Don't we have one? All right. So then we're gonna jump into tonight's discussion. So as we said in TTRPG news, this last week we got the news that Wizards of the Coast reached out to the unofficial Magic the Gathering NFT project and said, hey, cease and desist, guys, don't make NFTs of our stuff, and we're gonna make NFTs in the future, so you need to stop. And that made everyone blow up saying, what? You're gonna make NFTs yourself? What's going on?
What is happening? And it exploded Twitter. Twitter freaking went insane.
Tomorrow Savage World is doing a Kickstarter.
I didn't know Savage World was doing a Kickstarter. I didn't see anything about that. And we use the Google. So the Google should have told us.
The Google doesn't like to talk to us.
The Google was mad. Covers Colorado to the Dakotas.
That's
hell
cool.
On the High Plains. That is really cool. We'll have to add that in for next week for anyone who wants to give to that.
Thank you, John. We have an anonymous source who lets us know about this. His name is John.
His name is John, dude.
So,
John, you said we're friends on Twitter. You should message me these things before the show.
But let's talk about NFTs. What are NFTs? How could Wizards of the Coast use NFTs? And why are people pissed?
Yeah.
About this.
I didn't totally understand it. So when I saw people starting to talk about it online, there were quite a lot of tech people that I follow that were very much like, this is a stupid move for Wizards of the Coast. They shouldn't do this. It's not actually going to bring them anything, that this is kind of like a scam and all of that stuff. And I don't know enough about it to have an opinion massively outside of, on the surface, it actually seems like a pretty good idea. So I turned to my amazing tech husband who understands things technical.
Yes. So first you got to understand NFTs and how they work and what they are. But I actually want to take one step farther back than that. Let's start with actually Magic the Gathering and what it is and how it all works. So you got Magic the Gathering, the card game, right?
Yes.
You can play the card game, but when you buy cards, you own that card. Mm-hmm. And there are cards that are special. There are cards that are, there's
limited runs of
there are
them.
limited runs. There's a defect on this one card when it printed, and so suddenly it becomes worthwhile. What?
Can I tell you a horrible story?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so
I give permission.
I found this on Reddit. This guy had a whole bunch of Magic the Gathering cards just sitting around. He didn't really know what to do with them. And he was like, well, they're kind of cool looking. So he actually built them into the rims of his car. And he put it, covered them with resin, and it looked really cool. And then he's posting pictures after the fact, after he's done it. And there was a limited edition card that at the time that he posted it, people went and looked, was worth about $200,000.
It was like the Black Lotus.
Yeah.
Like he must have had a Black Lotus.
I just remember the $200,000 number on that, but he was like, I am so upset right now.
Yeah, the Black Lotus is the most valuable card, money-wise, especially the original run of it, in Magic the Gathering history, and that would be the price point.
Yeah, so he was quite pissed. That's the only one worth that much. Okay, so it must have been that one.
It's you played Magic, so you get this idea.
I get it.
The card costs 0 mana to play. Mm-hmm. You sacrifice it, and you get to bring 3 mana out on your out and place them.
Seriously?
Yes. For 0 cost, you get to pull 3 mana from your deck and play them.
That's kind of awesome.
You start the game with that, you kill.
Yeah.
So this exists already. And because there's that limited run, there's only so many of them, then you have them. Well, but if you've got digital cards, okay, if you move
if you want to play on the MTG Arena, you have to do digital.
Yes, which there you can do digital, but it's limited within that scope. Mm-hmm. So you got 2 different things here. You've got digital things that exist. So let's take an idea of an image, okay? So you've got an image that's posted online. Anyone can save that image and use it.
Yeah. You can right-click it and save it.
Yeah, you can do that all over the place.
I remember being a teenager and just doing that with pictures.
Yeah. I remember being on Napster and downloading tons of stuff. So there's lots of things we do that
LimeWire.
We've got... Who's Dooms?
Hey, Dooms. John Doom, you have a competition now.
I feel like it needs to be like one of those videos where it's like when Doom music starts playing.
Doom, 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 doom.
Not that Doom music.
Oh. Doomy, doomy,
It's the music from the game Doom.
Oh my gosh. Oh, from the game? No. Oh no, that's Dune. Never mind.
Never mind.
So
this is the way that Magic the Gathering has worked. Is you get the cards, you own the cards, you might have a limited edition one, then you can trade them, it becomes a collectible. Pokemon's the same way. The way that NFTs work is they allow you to take a digital thing like a image and make ownership over it.
Okay.
Yeah, Napster, you allegedly downloaded stuff.
I didn't do anything.
Hey, I was under the age of 18. I cannot be held culpable for anything. I was like 15, 16.
One does not freely admit to a crime. I did not.
No one knew it was a crime at that time.
I did not do anything. It was still out in the courts. It was not a crime at that time.
Yep. But the way blockchain, you got to look back to how blockchain works. Because NFTs had to do with blockchain.
Okay.
And if you want to understand, you got to figure out first, okay, how does blockchain work?
Okay.
Blockchain is really complicated.
He spent many hours today watching videos trying to understand this, you guys.
So here's the way it works. I want you to imagine right now, if you got money in your bank.
Yes.
Your bank has a ledger of everyone who has money.
Uh-huh.
And it holds all the ledgers.
Yeah. Like it has one giant ledger with
everybody's. It has one giant ledger.
Numbers.
What would happen if your bank, instead of having one ledger that the bank held, and if a hacker came in and changed that ledger, everyone's screwed. Mm-hmm. Instead, everyone had a copy of the ledgers for everybody. It was public. You couldn't, if you changed it on one ledger, everyone else's ledger would say differently, and you'd know that ledger was messed up and will go with what everybody has.
Okay.
So blockchain was an idea to create a decentralized thing towards there's no bank, there's no one that's controlling this. The idea is that because it's public, you can't change it. You can't mess with it. So everyone gets to see and everyone has a transaction that you own it. Mm-hmm. So the idea of NFTs is that someone wanted to buy something, a digital piece of art. They're like, hey, I've got all this Bitcoin. I want to buy that. It's like, well, how do I say that you're the one that owns it? Well, the Bitcoin registries, these blockchains of transactions show you own it. So your ownership is only as true as the ledgers in bloxchain.
Oh.
So if you don't listen to, if you don't follow, if you don't believe...
Hi, Papa Bam XO.
Bamsco?
Bamsco. I can just...
Or it's Papa Bam XO.
I can just call people out.
You can call them what you want.
I can call them what I want.
But this is what it is. So NFTs are, we're going to say that you can buy this thing. And how are we going to say that thing is what it is? Well, because everyone says that that's what it is.
Okay, so how does this actually help a company? Because most people are not doing NFTs that are like individual people. They're like companies are doing NFTs.
There are actually artists. This is the one nice thing is artists can do an NFT. So if you're a digital artist and someone wants to buy your art, well, you do it as an NFT because then it can actually be sold and they own it. That's the equivalent digitally. That is the equivalent of buying a original from an artist that you love. So let's say you've got an artist who paints. You want to buy an original. You don't want to buy a print. You want to buy an original.
Okay.
You go and buy the original and then you own it. No one else owns that print.
Well, and you normally have an authentication of it.
Yes, and you have an authentication of it. NFTs are the equivalent of the online authentication of a piece of unique digital art.
Okay.
So if we take the in-world scenario of a painting, let's take most famous Mona Lisa. Okay, someone wants to buy the Mona Lisa. Well, they're gonna buy it. They're gonna pay a lot because it's unique. There's only one of them, and it's going to get authenticated by some expert.
Yeah.
Well, in blockchain, you don't do that. Instead, it's I want to buy it. It's unique. There's only one. How do I know there's only one? Because this long line of blockchain records show that this is the only one that anyone has.
This is the only copy that exists. So, Mech45 says a huge problem with NFTs right now is that people are stealing the art and selling it as NFTs for thousands of dollars. And that is the one thing that I have seen in the news the most is that people are doing that. They're either scalping artwork to do that, or they're trying to find things that don't have really strong copyrights on them, so they might be really old or whatever, and using that.
As far as copyright nastiness, this situation is going to turn up being the same as Napster.
Yeah.
It will end up being this. So I love that we brought that up earlier. In the end, copyright-wise, it's going to end up being just as nasty a situation where you're going to have someone who has an NFT for something that the person never should have had the rights to make an NFT of. And then the person, let's say that it's an artist. Let's say it's an album cover for an actual artist at a recording studio. And this guy's trying to sell online for a bunch of money this NFT of that album art. That studio is going to come after that person because they were stupid and bought it.
Yeah, well, and I like what John's saying here. He's like, so it's a scam because currently everyone thinks it's worth real money, even if it's not, regardless of who makes it. So Wizards of the Coast will buy art and then slap a Hasbro label on it, mint it as an NFT, and scam people into thinking there's value there.
And the flip was happening. That's where the unofficial Magic the Gathering NFT project was. Is these guys were taking the Magic the Gathering cards, trying to slap it on an NFT on it, and sell them without Wizards of the Coast involvement.
So here's the question then: if this is happening, this is not the question. Here's a question. So Wizards of the Coast pays artists to make art for D&D and for Magic the Gathering. So the artists are either selling the art or they have like a contract.
Generally, they sell the art.
The individual. So then is that then going to be a part of the rights that are sold with from the artist to the company that they're producing the artwork for, is the rights to create an NFT?
Well, that's an interesting one, that might be the case. And actually with NFTs, the way they're set up, there is something built within the blockchain to where you can put a commission that you expect as an artist. So that way, every time that it's sold again on blockchain with the NFT, it immediately recognizes, because it's on all the ledgers that everyone has, that you're supposed to get 10% every time this is traded. And so we'll instantaneously take 10% off of it and send it to that artist.
That is very interesting. That's kind of nice for the artist. But it's all through Bitcoin though, right?
It is all through Bitcoin.
So then if that's transferred to the artist through Bitcoin, then they have to then convert the Bitcoin into dollars.
Correct.
To get it out.
Or they trade it in Bitcoin to other things and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but that is the problem. Here's the big issue is like, well, anyone can rip it, suddenly claim it's like, there's a series that's like If Commercials Were Honest. You ever seen that one? It's a comedy thing on YouTube.
I've seen honest trailers.
Now this one's it's If They Were Honest thing on, what is it? Or what Mech said more succinctly that to me. Okay.
They pay with the rights included. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they're gonna sell the art to them, and then they're gonna have it on the cards, and they can create their own NFTs because they own the rights. But again, what stops me from taking that image? I can find it on Google. I crop it.
Yeah.
I then put it into one of these NFT makers that connects a blockchain registry to it, and then I start trying to trade it. That is where the problem arises, because there's no one validating that you had, until it hits the blockchain, there is no registry of ownership.
Yeah.
And so there's no registry of ownership before it hits the blockchain. Anyone can make an NFT of anything for that first level.
Yeah.
Once the registry has been made, then
it's secure.
But
until that point,
there's
nothing
security at all.
So, okay, but why... Explain to me why someone would want to purchase an NFT from, because I know, a lot of... so Gary Vaynerchuk is a big proponent of NFTs. He thinks that they're freaking brilliant, and I'm still not understanding totally why. And so he has a ton of NFTs that he has sold with his company. So is the idea that it will appreciate in value as the value of the company or the individual that they have purchased the NFT from?
Or just the popularity. Why does art go up in value?
Because people are stupid.
It's going to be the same thing. It's the idea of the exact... Okay. It is the uniqueness of it and who decides it has value. No different than any other art.
Okay. And I realized I said that. That was kind of mean. I didn't mean that people are stupid. I mean, I wouldn't pay $50 million for a painting. I would pay a few $1,000s for a painting, for sure, from a specific artist. A few of my favorite artists, I would 100% pay a couple $1,000s. But, when they're selling things for, $250,000, I'm always just like, what?
Now, the question being asked here is, well, how does this affect... the average player in the D&D space?
You have to buy a paladin NFT to play the class. That would be horrible.
No.
That would be horrible.
But Mech's got it right here. It's the equivalent of buying skins in the video games. It's very much. But here's the difference.
Oh my gosh.
The difference is it takes it out of being limited to that game.
That's true.
That's what I see happening. So this, why
Hi,
does...
Joel.
How does this affect?
Welcome, love.
How does this affect the average table? Right now, not at all.
No.
But here's where I see the connection. So they just did this, right? Where they told, we're planning on making our own NFTs. What did they announce a week ago?
With who? For what?
When it was to the coast. What did they announce a week or 2 weeks ago? Bringing in of their new...
Oh, their digital... executives. So they brought in an executive who specializes in digital entertainment.
They've brought in 2 executives that completely focus on digital entertainment and one in particular on mobile gaming.
Yeah.
So here's where this is going to become important in the future. I don't think the NFT side is ever going to hit your physical game table.
So you think it's just going to be an investment side of...
No.
No?
I think it's going to hit your video game and mobile game expansions of Wizards of the Coast.
How?
They already announced that they are looking to change the way that you play with Magic the Gathering online to make it more like playing at the table. If they can sell you, if they sell all their Magic the Gathering cards with an NFT attached, then it becomes to where you don't have to have it within the game arena. They can make it to where you buy the card, you own the deck on your phone, then you come and play at the table and actually hold your cards up. And all of your cards are digital, but because they're NFT attached, you can't copy them, you can't do anything. So by doing that, they then can make cards and a card gaming system that is not limited to being played inside of a console, not played inside of a gaming framework.
Okay.
So they are going, what I see is this is going to go into your, I'm going to do NFTs for the version of D&D Beyond. Yes, I could totally see that. I could see in D&D Beyond that they're going to have items. They will have special editions that they'll sell that.
But then only one person can purchase them.
But that's why you do limited runs. You do 100 of them. Each one has its own blockchain attached to it, its own NFT attached to it, but you sell 100 of them. But then you're one of only 100 people that own this version of this book.
Oh. Or like it's kind of, so it's kind of like, so Abyssal Brews, if any of you guys follow Abyssal Brews on Twitter, so Matt, he and Fernando create those homebrewed things.
Yes.
So if they sold those as NFTs to their patrons,
Yes.
then okay, now I get it.
And Midlife Dices brings up an important point. And Wizards of the Coast, because they can label it as they're the creator, they can set it up to get a 10% trade on every single time someone else buys it in perpetuity. Thank you for that word.
Yeah. In the future.
Forever.
Holy crap.
So yeah.
I did not understand NFTs until just now.
So that's what I foresee. It's more of in the digital space. It's like, take a look at, we were talking about it earlier, where Paizo's selling all the old editions.
Oh, drive-through RPG.
Drive-through RPG, okay? So you buy the book through download drive-through RPG, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then it's a PDF. You can share it with whoever you want to.
Yeah.
But what if it had to be your NFT checked on it? What if we had to, what if you tried to send it to someone and they're going to try and use it in official, they're going to try and use that PDF version at a organized play. And instead now you have to have your version checked for its blockchain before you can use it in an organized play. If you want to go and you want to GM at Gen Con and you got your tablet there with your PDF versions of your books on there, suddenly we've got to check your NFT on that to make sure you're not using pirated versions of these digital books. This is what it is. As the space of that was books and physical cards moves into the digital space, they want to secure their purchasing power. They want to make sure that you have to go buy the book, you have to go buy the card. You can't just copy paste. You can't just file share.
So it does create, I mean, if they wanted to go that direction, it does create a situation where Wizards of the Coast or whoever, Hasbro, whoever is the one doing this, is going to be making money hand over fist.
Exactly. Well, they can then sell more limited runs. That's how they made a lot of money on Magic the Gathering. But I imagine they're seeing an increase, especially with the pandemic. How much you want to bet they saw a huge dip in purchases of physical Magic the Gathering cards,
sure.
and a lot more people on their online game.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Especially since you can't convert your physical cards to the online arena, like where Pokemon will do that. You can scan in your card and it will then give you a digital copy in the game online.
But here's the upside. You bring up an upside there. Let's say because there is talk, D&D, Wizards of the Coast is like, we don't want to continue with D&D Beyond, we're going to make our own. Okay. Let's say I buy on Amazon on a sale this book, but I also buy an NFT with it. Because I have that NFT of that ledger, can I plug in my NFT number into their equivalent of D&D Beyond, and suddenly I have the book on there too? Because you could verify with that, like having your barcode, but you can't share the barcode around. The NFT will be, there's only one person that's got this.
Yeah.
Could you use it that way? Is that a way to overcome this issue and complaint we have right now in the system for I buy the book, but then I also have to go buy it on D&D Beyond? But
well, wouldn't that kind of be the same though? Is if you got a code. So if you were given a code with the book that is a digital copy of the book, it's like when you buy back in the day. This dates me. When I got Warcraft 3, and it came with a digital thing. So I had a disc, but then I had a digital key that I could put in and just download it from Blizzard's website. Why would the NFT be any different than that?
Just because it's more secure.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Plus, they get a cut if you resell it.
That's true.
If you had the physical copy, but then you had this for download, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go resell the key. Oh, I got my cut." They're gonna get cuts a lot more. Now they might be smaller, but if they're in perpetuity, in the end, you make a lot more money.
You're making a ton of money. Joel is saying that physical sales grew more than digital, according to Hasbro.
Really?
I'm assuming you're talking about like in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the interesting thing. As we were doing some digging on this, Hasbro has already tried this, started trying this with Power Rangers.
They did their first
back
run in October.
So they did their first run of NFTs back in October, and it sold out. And they didn't sell them for a ridiculous amount of money. They sold them for $200. And some of the images were pretty cool, but they have already started to play with this. So the fact that they're talking about doing this now with Magic the Gathering and D&D, like, I have a feeling that this is going to be coming down the pipeline for most of the larger TTRPG creators.
Well, and imagine,
that have art.
I mean, think about it. The more that you can put things digitally, you keep your costs down for printing, for shipping. With shipping being uncertain these days.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure,
there are advantages to the digital space, but and that's I know D&D Beyond is a separate company, but it's been kind of the main place for D&D content online.
John, $200. Well, I say that's not crazy because I know of people who have sold NFTs for like
way more,
like $500,000.
Yeah, well, it's like we got a article drop here.
Oh, we got an article drop. What's
Wizards of the Coast sold over 650 million tabletop games. Actually,
million.
The company passed. It was 1.3 billion
in 2021. So that was like a huge deal. Yeah, I ain't got that kind of money to throw on Power Rangers art.
But
I know, neither do I.
But this again is the thing is, right now there are lots of Magic the Gathering cards that you can trade for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Imagine if I don't think Wizards of the Coast gets cuts when people, sell at auction.
No,
they're
those are
Black
all
Lotus. They're all private.
Yeah.
But if they can make digital cards, have NFTs of those, push people down that digital space and have limited runs of NFT style cards, then they get their cut every time it's traded thereafter. So when you make things exclusive like that and they can be bought and sold by private collectors, and all of a sudden they get their cut forever on that, that's a smart business model.
Yeah, it is. So knowing the way that it's been so divisive, what is it about the idea of Wizards of the Coast going into NFTs that you feel like is, and this is for the chat too, this is a question for the chat too, what do you think it is that's making people feel like this is like almost like a sacrilegious move for Hasbro to make?
See, and I don't think people have an issue because it's sacrilegious.
Well, you are not on the Twitter, my love. You do not get on the Twitter and read the things that the people say on the Twitter.
Okay. So what are people saying on the Twitter?
Some people are very upset about this, and they feel like it's like cheapening or making Dungeons and Dragons specifically. It's just turning it into not the game anymore. It's just about money.
Well, it was always about money.
I know, it was always about money.
the moment it got into Hasbro's hands, it was about the money.
I know. But what do you think it is about the NFTs that people are so on one side very upset about?
Well, I can tell you why people are very upset about NFTs.
In general?
In general.
Okay.
Because they don't want them to kill the planet.
What?
Yes, that is exactly.
Well, I know Mech45 said something about that earlier in the chat too. But like, what are you talking about?
So,
and I agree with you, John. I think that's why the exact same reason why fans had a really hard time when Critical Role it was released, that they made $9 million in the last 3 years. People feel weird about money.
There is another reason though, and it's not unwarranted. So the way the blockchain works, I dug into how it works. So every time, so have you heard of Bitcoin mining? Do you know what that is?
No.
So what Bitcoin mining is
Ooh,
that...
somebody get the star. Get the star.
You do exclamation point
jump. Get the star. Get the star.
But the way that it works is that every time... So you asked me this earlier. How do they log the transaction?
Yeah.
So what happens is that every time there's a transaction, there are people out there in the world, computers generally, that mine for Bitcoin. And the way they mine for Bitcoin is every time there's a transaction, there is an attached math problem. A really difficult math problem that requires huge amounts of computation to solve.
Okay.
Once it gets solved...
Oh, come on, guys.
I'm a little hazy on this point still. But once that gets solved, the proof of that solving gets attached to the transaction, and then it creates a chain reaction that updates everyone's ledgers. So that computer, it's hard to do that. And so it's hard enough to do it, and you get Bitcoins from doing it. From doing the mining, that if you're a really smart coder, rather than trying to rob Bitcoins, you just mine them. They've made it to where it's valuable for high-level coders to just mine them and run the transactions for Bitcoin instead of trying to interrupt them.
Okay.
So here's the problem. Those are heavy computations that are done on huge computers networked together.
Okay.
The largest Ethereum is a huge blockchain network, and it's the one that the NFTs are generally done on.
All right.
One transaction on the Ethereum network to be computed to send out a transactional situation for everyone costs the amount of electricity an American household uses in a day. In
what?
Yeah.
Like in the middle of I'm assuming the middle of our winter.
I would say an average. I'd say average throughout the year.
Okay.
It's estimated that it's not gigawatts, it's terawatts per year used by the Ethereum blockchain is 104 terawatts of electricity.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so it averages out to where pretty much per transaction, it's
token.
the equivalent.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Per block.
So, yeah.
This
Exactly.
is basically per
block.
transaction. So,
because every time that there's a
it's sold-
transaction, it adds that block to the end.
so how many transactions is that system doing in a day?
A lot. Every NFT, you're gonna have the transaction to attach the NFT.
Where the hell is this network?
It's all over the place in hundreds of computers attached to the network throughout the world.
Okay, so we're not talking like a server base.
No.
Not like
Yes,
the NSA here in
some
Utah.
yes. Some yes. Of mining Bitcoin. They've got these huge coding companies that just set up their servers to mine Bitcoin. And that's how they get a whole ton of Bitcoin.
That's so weird.
When I mine Bitcoin, I have to make more than $15 in a day for it to be profitable for me, or I'm losing money. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I didn't realize that was kind of... Because I've always just thought, like, it's digital. Why is everybody freaking out?
Mag 45, if you're mining, I'm interested. I'm a coder, and so
Are we mining?
I don't
Is
quite
that going
understand.
to be our next venture?
That'll be our
mining?
next venture. We'll mine Bitcoin.
I don't really want to do
But
that.
that's the thing. So think about the electricity consumption. Here's one thing most people don't realize, because we've all been sold bill of goods when it comes to energy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's pushed for electric cars, right?
Yeah, they
Why?
suck.
Why they push for electric cars?
Because they're better for the environment,
Okay.
supposedly.
But here's the thing. If you push for electric cars, these cars all have to be charged. How are these cars charged?
They're charged with a special type of metal that is only found in like a few places in the world, and it's like really actually difficult to get it out, and it creates a lot of problems.
I've actually watched some documentaries on the towns where they do that, and they've destroyed their birth defects. There are tons of issues.
bad.
But more important, other than that, like, where's
nuclear.
the electricity coming from?
The sky.
The electricity that's being used to charge your cars are coming from electricity plants generally burning fossil fuels and coal.
Yeah, well, and not only that, they're not actually better. In terms of like, you can't get on a charged battery. I think the highest they've been able to get a car to go is 200 miles.
But that's the thing. So you're saving the emission of your car itself. But you're costing it in electricity use creation by burning fossil fuels and coal.
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day, we're not
really doing that
anything.
much. It's kind of a...
Other than creating cars that don't have a lot of gumption and go. 450 miles? Oh.
They've gotten a lot better.
The last time I had heard anything about it, it was like 200
Well,
miles.
they're making better and better ones every year.
That's because what's his face? Elon Musk is like autistic level smart, and he is like super focused on doing that kind of stuff.
Well, and I know like
and getting to Mars.
BMW,
he's gonna get to Mars, man.
BMW just advertised their new fully electric car.
Yeah.
So
it's like
it's less exhaust. Definitely less exhaust,
yeah,
but they're also burning coal and oil. And it's like,
there's kind of an exchange there.
What we really need to have happen is there's real pushes being made.
John, that was dark. That was really dark.
Kill yourself.
Can't kill yourself through your garage.
Oh, jeez. True. What's the world come to?
If I didn't have such a good sense of humor.
But that is where a lot of the backlash, NFT backlash is twofold. One, there is no regulation for that first level on the ledger.
Yeah.
There's none. So since there's nothing happening on that first level, anyone can go and just say, "Ooh, I like that art. I'm gonna go make an NFT."
I'm gonna make an NFT out of it.
Which that sucks for anyone who's ever posted anything online.
Yeah, because there's no way for them to protect themselves unless they have already thought ahead and put it under a like non-copy protection on a website, whatever website that they put it on, because you can do that.
You can make an item non-selectable in the HTML.
In the HTML, but that I'm realizing right now, though, if it's an image, you can still use like Snagit or Snippet if it's on the screen and you can see it.
And if you're a coder, you can write scrapers that will go and look for JPEGs or PNGs and just scrape the web.
Oh, Congress is currently in the process of making a bill to regulate NFTs and crypto.
That regulates them.
That's going to be interesting.
But there comes the question. It's that first level of the ledger. Because here's the thing, though. If they actually regulate it, it will drop in value.
Yeah, it will.
Because part of the reason why it's valuable is it's non-regulated. It is left to just go. But that first level, without regulation, without something in the physical world.
I feel like there has to be some type of validation of it. Like, I mean, and that's where a government agency or a registry of some type, even if it's a privately owned registry, would be incredibly important, because you'd have to prove your ownership of whatever image you were trying to make an NFT out of. And I can see that.
How do you prove that?
How do you prove that? I don't know.
That's a really hard question.
I mean, you probably could get into the code for a lot of things, and find where the newest, the most recent. No, not most recent. The first instance of that image being put online, you could look at it through the code.
So we're going to have the NSA find out if you're...
I don't know.
No, I'm just like, it's a hard problem. It's a really difficult situation for any artist. Well, and it begins to feel like a cash grab. That's like one big one is the NFL just released these clips of NFL highlights that you can buy an NFT on, and everyone's like, well, what does that matter?
Can't you just watch them on YouTube?
You can.
So,
but let me liken it to this. Did you ever hear of basketball cards?
Yeah.
Could you find pictures of basketball players online?
Yeah.
But people still buy cards.
But that is such a small percentage of people, though.
But those are the same people who would buy an NFT of that moment. Is the digital equivalent of your basketball cards. It's the same thing. You got that, Babe Ruth rookie card, right? Yeah. This guy's got the...
what? You challenged us to a duo? Okay, Weston,
I don't even know how that works.
Do you want to do it? You have to accept it within 50 seconds. Right. Hit accept. Hit accept. You have the keyboard.
Yeah, get over there.
The NBA, that just seems really stupid. Okay.
All right. I've accepted, but I have no idea what this is.
No, it says you declined.
I accepted.
Wait, try it again. Try it again. Try it again. There we go. Guys, we're still playing with these avatars. We don't really know what they do.
He just hit me.
He just hit you. That was so rude.
How am I supposed to hit you?
I don't know. You just go back and forth. Apparently, you don't actually hit each other. You don't do anything. You just watch your little guys attack each other.
He critted me. Jeez. I don't have my little...
Oh my gosh. Mech, you're going to kill the host.
I do not... I hit him. Rude. I went to go hit him. Okay.
That was a miss. You missed.
Oh, take me out. Take me out, Mech. Take me out,
died.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's doing a little dance. Look
at
the dance.
You have destroyed me.
Look at his little dance. Boom.
But you know what? You know what, Mech? I can make this interesting for you.
Wait, why are we... What is happening? Oh, dear. Are we going to do a boss battle?
I have instituted a boss battle.
You guys have 1 minute to accept the boss battle.
So, exclamation point.
Join.
Join. And then you can actually put if you want to be a warrior, a priest, or a mage.
Yeah, so this is super fun, you guys. So do exclamation point join, and then you can put what you want to be. Yes. Come on.
They don't have tank. You gotta be a warrior.
Should we do it too?
Yeah, sure.
Let's join too. You join too. Be a warrior. Okay, we have less than 30 seconds for you to join. Come on, guys, join. Join.
You know you want to.
You want to.
But That's the thing.
Come on, Joel.
It's no different than trading cards.
Mm-hmm.
They want to bring back the days of the trading card, but allow for it to exist still in digital
my
world.
My phone just died. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay, it's just gonna be us, Mech.
We're gonna die, Mech.
We're gonna die.
Oh no, there. Oh,
No,
there,
it pulls up a bunch of NPCs.
We needed a priest, and we didn't. Oh, it brought up a bunch of NPCs.
Yeah, it brings up a bunch of NPCs if people don't.
You gotta destroy the Pumpkin King.
Oh man,
Jack
this
the
is actually
Pumpkin
kind of
King.
hard, you guys.
But yeah. So that's the issue. Is
Hold on, let's just explain. You have the countdown. You can choose what to do, and you just do the exclamation point, whatever.
So it tells you,
deal
at the top
damage.
who's going. NPC bought 3s right now, and then their options.
Yeah. So,
But here's
just
the thing.
so you know.
So NFTs have a interesting reputation right now. And for them to be like, oh, we're going to make NFTs, I can see both sides. Because one, I think they're trying to exist more in the digital space, which is why they just hired 2 people who, when they talked about the new president of Wizards of the Coast, the big thing was she's really good at helping you go into expanding digital markets.
Oh my gosh, we're all bleeding.
Jeez.
It's the boss's turn now. Oh man.
Oh, is it my turn?
No, it's the boss's turn now. It's your
Here I
turn.
go. All right. I'm going to do
30 damage, 80% when the boss is less than 50%. Okay. Reduce physical damage by 25% for 12 turns. Do that. Go demoralize it. Demoralize.
There we go. I'm going to demoralize it. Intimidating
God.
glare.
Yes, and demoralize is a Pathfinder thing
Yes, it is.
too, which is funny.
But that's the things. One,
Okay, Mech, get him.
No
Get
one-
him, Mech.
a lot of people don't trust it because it's that first level of the plagiarism and the theft at that first level is high.
Well, it sounds very similar to an issue that's actually happening with Amazon's Kindle Unlimited with authors.
Okay, talk about it.
So when authors put their books up on Kindle Unlimited, they have specific criteria that they have to meet. And one of the things is that it cannot be published on any other websites, and it cannot be available anywhere else.
Oh, that makes sense.
So they put it on there, but there are people who, because of the way that they are done as like EPUB books or Kindle books,
shoot.
they're able fairly easily to steal the book, and then they will put it on other websites for sale. And then the author gets in trouble because KU, Kindle Unlimited, is like, this book is now for sale somewhere else, and like, this is against our policy. You can't do this.
Yikes.
And it's like, are you serious right now? Like, it's not the author's fault. And that's happening a lot. I didn't realize it was such a big deal until I got on Book Talk on TikTok. Like, it's a huge problem with indie authors.
Digital theft is there's a lot of ways to do it. Like getting into code and
I
being
think the boss is going to kill all
oh
of
yeah,
you
he
guys.
is, yeah. Being a coder, like people make scrapers that can just go through the whole web and you just leave it running, and it'll scrape information. It'll find where there's that book title, or oh, here's a file that ends in EPUB.
How do you protect yourself then?
It comes down to the way the coders write the code, which is not easy to. I mean, it's expensive to get good coders.
Yeah, it is. That's
so
true.
that's where a lot of that, but that's where NFT comes into place. But it requires, in order for it to really, really work, it needs to.
It has to have a validation system at the beginning.
Well, and everyone's got to agree with it. That's the other thing.
Everyone
like,
has to agree with the
everyone has to.
validation.
It is like the dollar. Why does the dollar have value?
Because we in America have chosen to have it have
Exactly.
value.
Because we as a group have cumulatively agreed to the value of this thing.
And then that value is compared to other countries and what their perceived value of their money is. And then what the world's perceived value of the money is in general, which is why it goes up and down.
Yep. And so that's the same thing we're having with this. So
Essentially, it's all freaking made up.
yeah, it's all made up.
All of it.
But rich people who have extra money,
They love to play with things that are made up.
yeah, they do.
which is great. So I have an uncle who is a stockbroker, and when he explained to me at the age of 13, I was 13, not him, that what the stock market was and how it worked, I was like, so it's just arbitrary, all of it. Like, you can just choose. Somebody could just choose with enough influence one day to say, these people are worth a lot of money.
Huh?
And there's like, that blows my freaking mind.
Well,
because then it's not about your actual output. It's not actually like you create something and you add value to the world, therefore you are a valuable member of society. It's like, hey, I've just decided that you're valuable.
Well, why is the Mona Lisa worth so much?
I don't know. I've seen the Mona Lisa in person. I've been to the Louvre in Paris. It's not all that exciting. I was actually way more excited when I saw the Venus de Milo than I was, and there was hardly anybody at the Venus.
But that's the thing, is it's like things can be valued based on their history.
It's also small. It's like this big.
Is it?
It's tiny.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was bigger than that.
No, it's
But
small.
you know, size. I've heard that size doesn't matter, right?
It's how you use it. No. Okay, can we take a quick break and talk about Critical Role for a second?
Oh, Hayley wants to go.
Because I want to talk about, have you guys seen the show? I know that we're playing a boss battle, so there's like all of those, but comment in the chat if you guys have watched The Legend of Vox Machina. Because I want to have a discussion, but I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't want to...
Spoilers.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to go to the restroom really fast. Okay, keep playing with the boss man.
Actually, I'm gonna go hit the restroom too. So we'll be. Actually, no. If I switch to this break screen, we lose the dragons because I don't have it added to there yet. So Mac 45 is dead. Yes, you are. It was a good run. You fought hard. Your ancestors would be proud. You have fought bravely. And proving yourself to be a great warrior. The boss battles are freaking difficult, man. Midlife Dice says you could barely get through 2 episodes. I am going to want to know why. And Hayley's going to want to know why. But, honestly, since I'm the only one left in this, I think I can actually end this boss battle early. Let's see if I can. I swear I found a way on all these commands that they told me about when I signed up for this thing, and they're like, hey, here's boss battles, and yes, boss cancel. There we go. Boom. Haha, I killed him. All right, I'm gonna go to the restroom myself. We will be right. Oh, I've got to. Oh, Hayley's back, so she can talk for a minute while I go to the restroom. So good luck, guys.
My phone died, and I don't have my charger, so I can't read the chat. Can you put it up on screen really quick? Is that my charger? It's my charger! Look at that. Okay, so Joel, you were only able to get through... Hold on, I'm going to sit in Weston's seat so I can read the chat. Oh, this is fun. I haven't gotten to sit in this seat in a while. Okay, so... Joel said, I didn't enjoy it. The humor was meh. Okay, so I kind of felt the same way at the beginning, but my love for Critical Role kind of like made me keep watching, like regardless of the fact that I kind of felt like the humor was kind of and I felt like the episodes needed to be 45 minutes, not 23. They needed more time. There was no breathing room for the actors to actually like make comments and to have their lines delivered and have a beat or a pause. But yeah, Papa Bam, You loved it. See, and Weston and I, Thursday nights, that's like become our thing. Like we watch Critical Role on Thursday nights. My phone is charging. Do you want to switch now?
Hi, I'm Hayley.
Yeah, I don't do that. Like ever.
Yeah, but your Coke's fuller than mine, so.
Oh, no, you Coke thief.
I am the nefarious Coke thief.
Okay, now we need to change so that you can put the chat up on the thing. Put the chat up on the thing. Please. Pretty please.
Then you gotta get up.
Okay.
Okay, do-si-do. We're playing musical chairs here.
We don't normally do this that much. Like the amount of movement that we have had today is not very normal.
All right, give it a second.
So the one thing that was really frustrating to me is that they have changed specific moments in the game and in transferring it to the animated show.
Oh yeah, they cut out a ton at the beginning.
They cut out so much. And yeah, they had to cut out all of the stuff with Tiberius. There's going to be no mention of him. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he didn't exist, which is kind of
both sad.
It's both sad, and I
get it.
Totally get it because
bad fallout. That was a bad
it
fallout.
was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad. But the problem that I had is that they added things that totally. Okay, what am I trying to say?
Talk. Come on.
Okay. This is where my problem stems. I've been okay. Like, the potty humor, I'm kind of like, oh my gosh. But I felt that way about Scanlan anyway. Like, regardless.
You hated Scanlan at the beginning of campaign.
I really didn't like Scanlan at the beginning of campaign 1.
I had to tell her to keep watching.
It took me probably 30 sessions before I started liking Scanlan. But that was also when he started backing off of the crude humor all of the time. But Sam Riegel is just crude, period. So that's never going to stop. But the problem that I had is the Keyleth and Vax relationship was something that I loved. That was like one of the biggest reasons I kept watching.
The romance reader.
I'm a romance reader. I'm a romance writer. Like, it's what I do. So it's fine. But they included the line in the episode, "You know I'm in love with you, right?" And in the actual play, he kisses her. Like, it happens right after the fight. He says that. They're both bleeding. They kiss each other. Like, it's a huge moment in the game. And they didn't include it.
You know, I feel like this is like when relationships on the decline and you thought these moments were all special and you found out they didn't.
They did not. They did not hold these dear to their heart. No, and I knew things were going to be, I knew things were going to be different in the TV show. Like, there's no way. And I understood that. And I have had many fandoms that once they go onto the big screen or the small screen, it gets changed.
Real time.
Or like Harry Potter or any of them. But that was so weird. See, the timing wasn't all that far off, but why did they decide to do it when they're at the frickin' Sun Tree instead of in the room?
He needs to be like, "Hey, Kiki."
No, Matt can't come in as the Sun Tree for a little bit still. The Sun Tree has to be saved. I'm sorry if you have not seen the show or watched what I don't want to spoil anything.
We
so
already
told
that we already said spoiler warning. Hi.
Spoiler
and stuff
warning.
like that. So, I mean, and let's be honest. I think everyone on here has listened to the campaign. So it's not like you're giving anything away there.
I know, it's true.
It's like,
hi, Cassie.
It's an interesting thing. It is a story you already know that you're watching it just to see what it looks like in a different medium.
Yeah.
Because you already know it.
Yeah, I know. But it's just like this whole, but the No Mercy Percy stuff, like.
The what?
So good. Have you never heard that?
The No
Mercy Percy. That's what people call him at the beginning of that campaign. He's the No Mercy Percy.
I have not heard that, which I love Percy. He's probably he's my favorite character of the campaign.
It's my favorite. It is. See, hi guys, Cassie. Hello, Cassie. See, this is the advantage of streaming with these little avatars. Is I know when people get on and it puts their username up there,
You
so
cannot
they can
escape
You
us.
can't hide from me. It's very nice. But yeah, that's something. I know this is totally off topic from what we were talking about today with NFTs,
honestly,
but like
we
it was
made it through the
crazy.
We made it through the NFT discussion, I think, a little faster because I researched the heck out of it earlier today.
What? How have you not heard that? Not heard? Oh, Weston, the No Mercy Percy.
Because
I know.
I don't live my life online.
What you do, but you're a coder, so you're in.
I live my life coding online.
And you're coding a very specific app. So.
Yes, I do. I'm a coder and a product manager and product owner for a web application. So I live my whole life online in a very narrow scope.
So Weston has a Twitter. He doesn't use it.
No,
ever. So people have asked me, like, what's Weston's Twitter or what's Weston's Instagram? And I'm like, yeah, there's no point in me even telling you because he doesn't use it.
If you want to get a hold of me, message her.
Pretty much. That's like true in life. But yeah, that's like a whole nickname for him is the No Mercy Percy.
It works. I thought that was done well.
I loved the way they did the mask. I thought that was done beautifully, where he's walking down in that transition of you see him with the reflective glasses and then the next is the mask over his face in the dungeon. Like, I loved that.
Yeah, Max, a cybersecurity student. Yeah, cybersecurity, man. That is intense stuff. So I imagine you're in a lot of Python.
Python.
ATM. That's
at the moment.
Okay.
He really doesn't know the Twitter
I don't.
shorthand, you guys. It's cute.
We have our own shorthand where I work, and most of it includes 4-letter words.
It's.
But
like a whole thing.
as far as the campaign, I understand the cutting out of most of the beginning stuff.
Well, they kind of had to, especially because that is not really the beginning. The beginning of the big arc for Critical Role was with the Briarwoods.
But I do but they did include the what's his bucket? That's the dragon. David
they
Tennant.
had to.
They include David Tennant, which you have to include David Tennant.
I mean, can you guys believe they got David Tennant?
I want them to get David
voice?
Tennant on Thursday night. Like, I want them to get him on some episodes of actual Critical Role campaign.
I don't think
I want to see him play D&D.
I would love to see him play
Put
D&D.
Put it in the chat. Do you want to see
though.
David Tennant play D&D? Put it in the chat. I want to.
I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that, but I don't think it would ever happen.
Whatever.
Because I don't think that people would.
Yeah, they included stuff with the dragon. Yeah, because led into the Chroma Conclave.
Yeah, they had to cut out pretty much anything that didn't have to do with the larger story arcs, which was the Chroma Conclave and Vecna.
Yes.
So they had to include the dragon and they had to include the Briarwoods. I
had a thought.
Love to see David Tennant. I mean, the other people in the cast too, like Dominic Monaghan.
Yeah, they haven't. Dominic. Yeah, he
was in the cast and other people.
Well, and there's a lot of people in the community that. Here's one thing I love about Legend of Vox Machina working. It is a online creator whose creation blew up, and then they didn't get cut out of the creative process.
Yeah.
When it hits the top like this, because generally they cut all the original people out by the time it gets to this big.
Yeah.
But showing that you keep the creators and you keep the people that made this work involved, you get a better product.
Well, it would have been incredibly easy for Amazon to come in and say, we want to buy this from you, but...
Oh, I'm sure Wizards of the Coast will let them.
I imagine that Wizards of the Coast will let them, but...
They might not name it Vecna.
They may not name it Vecna.
Whispering Tyrant. They might keep him as
They called him the Whispered One.
The Whispered One. Because Whispered Tyrant is actually Pathfinder.
Yes.
That's a Pathfinder thing.
That's a Pathfinder villain.
Which is the equivalent kind of Vecna.
Yeah.
But yeah, they might not refer to him as Vecna, just like they didn't refer to it as Big B's hand.
Big B's hand.
It was Scanlan's hand.
So they might just end up changing it to get around that a little bit. But
I think they'll change names of things, but everyone will know what they are.
Yeah. Anybody who watched the actual play or
It's like,
knows D&D.
She's never referred to Saren Ray as Saren Ray.
No,
she's
she
the
says
Everlight.
The Everlight. Yeah. Oh, that's true. Because Saren Ray is actually a Pathfinder goddess. From when they started their home game, it was Pathfinder.
Oh, Mech mentioned, not many people know this, but Matt started Critical Role as a company beforehand, and that's how he kept ownership from Legendary when Legendary bought Geek and Sundry.
I
So
didn't
they were
realize
a
that they were.
subcontractor.
I didn't know that.
Maybe that's why. So I always found this interesting. When they posted the podcast, they didn't do this in the show on Twitch, but on the podcast, they would say that it's
with special permission
from Vox Machina. So it was from Geek and Sundry with special permission from Vox Machina.
Yeah, we always wondered why on the podcast that they said that.
And
I
that's
didn't know
probably
that.
why, because he kept it all separate, which kept them in control. Smart
That's
business
really smart.
decision early on.
That's really
That
smart.
kind of saved, I mean...
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that saved them in the idea that they had their own separate entities. So when Legendary bought Geek and Sundry and they went off on their own, when Critical Role went off on their own, they already had that agreement that they would all be like equal owners in the company. So they all have different roles and things that they do, and then it exploded.
But the real thing that we need to talk about is how Variety asked them just the other day, what about live action? And they said, we're up for it.
They did?
They did.
I did not know that. Seriously?
They asked them, like, what about the live action? They're like, sure.
I'm sorry, Travis cannot pull off Grog.
It wouldn't be
anymore.
It wouldn't be the, and that would be the thing, is that at that point, it would have to be
It would
different
have to be actors, because not them, because they're...
Dave
I love
Bautista.
Travis. I love Travis. He is old.
Dave Bautista could play Grog.
No.
I bet he could.
No.
Okay.
Who do you guys think
It's
could
okay.
play Grog?
You could be wrong.
You
It's
can be
all right.
wrong. You can be wrong. I think the guy who played the Mountain should be Grog
Now,
in Game of Thrones.
have you heard of the I don't know. You might want a little bit better actor than that. He isn't really.
Dave Bautista is not a good actor. In what world?
He delivered "I'm stupid" lines very well in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but that.
Grog's
No.
line. Grog's the same type of
But
lines.
Grog has to have depth. There has to be depth to Grog
There are
underneath the
sandwiches.
stupid.
There are sandwiches.
What are you talking about?
Can you give me a sandwich?
Can you bring me a sandwich? That was really cute. I liked that.
But
I
yeah,
don't
so
think he could, though. He'd have to, like, bulk up, and he's like, no.
are we thinking that you'd have to bulk
no.
up?
Meg 45 is saying, I think he can still pull it off.
Yeah.
You're talking about Travis, right? Because I think Travis is he's super hot for a guy that has totally graying hair.
Grog, depth, two things I never thought.
But think about, okay.
He's got guts in there.
He's
like
got,
we see
no,
that. Like
he
he's
has depth, and you see it every once in a while. Like when Scanlan loses his mind and goes off on his own, you see the way that Grog responds to that. Like there's depth there, and when he hurts Pike and he doesn't mean to, it's like if you're gonna get an actor to play stupid, he has to be really smart to play stupid with intelligence.
He just needs to get Chris Hemsworth's trainer for like a year.
Gosh, right?
I'm sure his wife would be more than happy
Laura
with
would
those
probably be
results.
very
Laura would be
happy
happy
with
with those
that.
results. She'd be like,
I know,
he's got the
right?
dad bodies pulling these days.
I know, seriously.
But yeah, we got a half hour left, and I
Well, no, we started early, so we were actually at time.
that would be why
Mm-hmm.
I planned for normal amount of discussion, and wow,
I
it's
know.
weird to be at a new time, everyone. It throws off my internal clock like
I know. But thank you so much for joining us tonight and hanging out. If you are able to come watch our actual play on Friday, where you can affect the gameplay by giving hero points and villain points and things like that.
Yep, you needed villain. I imagine there's going to be some dialogue, like there's some actual talking to people that might happen in this next section.
It's not just going to be a continuation of the dungeon crawl.
So your character might need some hero points.
Oh my gosh, you guys, my character, she's an idiot. I adore her. She's 19 years old and she thinks that she is the smartest thing on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
So she normally needs hero points because she freaking sucks at diplomacy checks. Anyway, so come hang out with us on Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time here on this channel. And yeah.
So remember.
No, wait. Come find us on all of our socials.
Oh, yes.
I am on Twitter personally at HayleyM_Bell. You can find us as well at Party of 2 RPG Live on Twitter. I am much more active on my personal Twitter, so you can go say hi to me over there and see what we do, and we post fun videos and stuff. We're also on TikTok.
Yes.
Go find us on TikTok at Party of 2 RPG. We are trying to get followers because we would love to actually stream on TikTok as well.
But you have to have 1,000, is it?
You have to have 1,000 followers to go live on TikTok. So if you have a TikTok, go find us and go follow us because it's fun.
Yep. And if you want to find me online, message her.
Yes. It's true. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. And since we are already up, we will take first watch.
Good night.
Good night.